It's a Friday. Fridays are nice. Not as good as Mondays, but right? Fridays. Hey, anyways, good to see everybody. Let's do some gold, let's do some oil, let's do some Bitcoin, let's do some dollar, let's do some euro, let's do some Swissy, let's do some yen, and whatever else is on your mind, we'll cover that too. 3, 2, 1, bring it! The hype. Don't believe the hype. Don't. Hey, good morning, everybody. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results. Stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term, and never risk money you cannot afford to lose. Hi, my name is Wayne. Nice to meet you. Good to see you. Another wonderful day here in the world. Welcome to Forex.Today, the community of 11,500 foreign exchange traders around the world, aligning their satellites, sharing their knowledge, so all as one, we become Illuminati. So thank you for being here. A little bit of groundwork here. What are the rules? Number 1 rule, treat your fellow currency traders in the chat room with dignity and respect. If you're a spammer, scammer, scumbag, just check your negativity at the door and maybe find your inner peace and join the community or disappear forever. What else? Ask good questions, take notes, leave comments in the videos. Please remember to like and subscribe and comment. That tells YouTube that you see this community as being valuable content. So support your community if that's what you believe. Also, our sponsor is tradersway.com. Please pay it back. Visit tradersway.com. Open up a demo account. When you're in the back office, download MT4, play some trades. You'll see the execution speed. You'll see the spreads. You'll see the swaps. All are amazing. You got to see it, so do it. You can also choose variable spreads, fixed spreads, or ECN. The difference between those, fixed spreads, the spreads are always the same. That's really good during high volatility moments when spreads might be wider. Okay, the intermarket creates these spreads. So if you don't want that risk, do fixed spread. Variable spread, it moves around with market conditions. Almost always you'll do better off in variable spreads, except for around high volatility moments. But if you don't want spreads at all, you just want to pay a flat commission every time you trade, ECN's for you, bro. ECN's for you. So that's how it works. Tradersway.com. Thank you, Tradersway. My camera's off center. No, that's not it. How do I move my camera? I guess it's this. Cool. There I am. Hi, me. Hello, me. How are ya? There's cool. So we got that. Good. Get on with it. Now, yesterday was the swing trading group, swing.fxbootcamp.com, and I must thank them. They threw me into a bunch of fantastic trades. Thank you, swing trading group. I appreciate you. So one of the things they said, risk off. Another thing we looked at, Aussie pairs. So I took 3 out of the 4. I don't know why I didn't take the 4th one, but I just didn't. So the first one was a sell here, down, 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 breach, pull back into the 21, down, 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 down. Yeah, boy! Thank you, swing traders. Now the question is, will this last just the day? Is it a day trade? Or can I sit on this all next week? Really? Let's see this other one. That's the Aussie yen. Here's Aussie Swissy. Up, 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 down, down. I don't know if you can see this in here. Maybe I'll need to zoom in. Probably, right? You're like, Wayne, if you had a microscope, you couldn't see that. All right, let's give it a couple of clicks in. So, thank you, swing traders. Down, 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 up, up, into the sell zone. Down, 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 down. Nice. What about Aussie dollar? Change this so we get a day trading bearish. And right, down, 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 up, up, sell, down, 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 up, up in Asia, sell London open, down, 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 down. Woo-wee! Thank you, swing traders. Oh, that's not sugar, Neon. Those are pips. So, we are talking now, that's 125 pips. This is 80 pips, so that's 200 pips total. And this one is 70. So, 275 pips from the swing trading group and just one trading idea. Thank you. Thank you. That's how it's done, bro. So that's a mix of swing trading and day trading. But that idea came from the group. So I just followed on their analysis. Cool. Yeah, boy. Right? Right, Luca? Let's see. Oh, shit. Looks like I sold pound yen yesterday, too. Oh. Actually, I forgot about this one, honestly. Let's see if what I did. I don't know what I did here. I don't know what I did here. I don't remember this one. Was this from the other day? Was this 2 days? No. I don't remember this one. I think this is what happened. If I were me, this is what I would be thinking. Okay, down, 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 up, up. You can see back into the moving averages. This must have been like a 4-hour 21 or something. But you can see the lower low, lower high, sell off the moving average. I don't remember this one. Let's see, move my stop a little closer. Oh, by the way, look where my stop is. 33 pips. Oh, it was a day trade. Nice. 33 pips. So where are we now? 120 pips profit. So I'll move it here to lock in 99. There you go. Just another day trade. So that's 375 pips for the day. Yeah, boy. That's how it's done. Cool. Cool. And then Swissy. Look how far Swissy's moved in the last day. So now I can move Swissy. This one is now, I can lock in. Check this out. If I had locked it in here, that's 500 pips profit. Right there, that one trade. 500 pips, that one trade. I think I'm not going to leave it there, but let's see the other one. This one is 450. So combined, we have about 1,000 pips I can lock in right this second. So I'll lock in 400 here. Just because it's psychological. Okay, so that's 400 pips, worst case scenario. And this one is 450, I guess. We'll mark this one 450. So that's 950. How long did this 1,000 pips? 6 weeks. Here it is. Oh, I guess the beginning of the year. This is the one I set up 6 weeks in advance. Okay. And by the way, this is just 2 trades. You should be on about 12 trades by now on this trade. Okay. I'm just trying to teach you to let it run. Would you take follow-up trades? Absolutely, Penny. Every one of these things. Down, 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 up, up, sell, down, 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 up, sell, down, 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 up, sell, down, 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 up. And those are weekly swings. Look at all the day trades on this one. So let me zoom in a little bit. Look at these day trades. Sell, 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 sell. Every time you touch a pink zone, it's a sell, right? Sell, 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 sell. Okay. And tomorrow you should probably do this. Reb says, right, I still struggle. I'm trying to drive home this point for weeks and weeks and weeks. You cannot succeed unless you let your winners run. It is a universal truth. Okay? It's a universal truth. It's like you can't fight gravity. You cannot. You cannot fight this point. So if you can't let your traders run, it's usually because you either have no strategy at all or your strategy's wrong. I don't care if your strategy's wrong. Because I talked about this in the group yesterday, it doesn't matter if your strategy's wrong now. You will have your time in the spotlight. And when it's your time, you will shine. You will rock the house, standing ovation, roses being thrown on stage. You are the greatest trader in the world because you're selling rallies in a downtrend. Woo! And then the downtrend is over and it starts moving up and you have to go sit in the wings. You're not on stage. There's no spotlight for you right now. It's not your time. Take a break. Sit in the green room. You will have your time to shine, okay? So if you're a bull here, you just don't have a lot of opportunities. Well, that's it. But one day this might be bullish or will be bullish. We don't know when. But when that happens, you'll kill it. And bears will not have opportunities. So you got to really get to that point. So that's 2,000 pips locked in, my worst case scenario right now. Not counting my exotics. Now, I'm still in one exotic trade, and I'm trying to hang on. I know I'm losing. I know I'm losing pips, but I'm trying to hang on because I want to do an exotics training course in the future, and I want to be able to show that I stayed in one trade for a year. And unfortunately, I'm losing pips like crazy. I can't lose money, but I'm giving up opportunity cost to stay in. But, you know, it's coming back to my break even so close. I'm like, no, hang on. I think I need to be in till like May 9th. I'm like, hang on, please, hang on. So I might not be able to make it. I might get knocked out at break even, but I'll show you that. I'll show you that, in fact. Why don't we do that? If I get knocked out at break even on this Turkish lira, right now, I'll only make 900%. This is the same as 900 pips profit if I get knocked out at break even. So it's not terrible, but I'm trying to hang on. I'm trying to hang on. I'd love to say, this trade I've had open for over a year, you know, or 1 year exactly. So anyways, I'm paying the penalty. Paying the penalty, but anyways. Cool. What do we want to do next? Oil. I guess we got to do oil. Oil sets the tone for everything. Now, do you remember being back here? I said your mindset needs to be that we're going to 65 or we're going to 35. Remember, I always say it doesn't matter which one you pick as long as you have conviction for it. And if you're right, you'll get paid. And if you're wrong, you won't get many trade opportunities. You understand? So in this case, if you were a bull, you would have bought it here. If you were a bull, you would have bought it here. If you were a bull, whoa, snap, what the, right? And this killed your bullishness. But what about bears? Bears have their time. And this is the bearish time. There's the bearish entry. Now we're at 45. We don't know if we're actually going to 35. My point was, in this situation, I wanted you to pick a team. Instead of swinging both ways like a broken gate. That will lead you nowhere a long time. Maybe if you're lucky, you get somewhere short time, but it won't get you anywhere a long time. So, anyways, that's kind of where we are now. How do you want to trade it? Well, if you're a bull, you're going to go like this. And here's the thing. If you're a bear, you want to sell this high anyways. So you need the bulls to buy it up. And then you're like, stupid, right? And then you crush them. When you're a scalper or intraday trader even, Forex is a zero-sum game. What does that mean? What does zero-sum mean? No, Ryan, that wouldn't be a bias. That would make the market the boss. The market's making decisions for you. Ryan, pretend you're raising money from investors. You need to tell them what you do for the year. What's your point for 2020? You can't just say, well, I go up and down, long and short, in and out, round and round. Okay? Yes. One trader will be a winner. One trader will be a loser. That's what zero sum is. In fact, the loser transfers their wealth to the winner. When you are more of a macro trader, more of a trend trader, a larger time frame than, let's say, an hourly chart, if you're trading a 4-hour chart, if you're trading a day chart, that kind of thing, what you'll find is Forex is not a zero-sum game. What I mean by this is if you're a bear, you only sell high. That's definitional. If you don't do that, you're probably going to end up broke. If you are a bear, you sell high. Once again, universal truth. If you don't do that, you're probably bankrupt or going to be. What does a bull do in contrast? Bulls buy low. Can we all agree that that's a universal truth? Scalpers maybe not, but they don't really have a bias. They're trading volatility. Quite different. But if you're trading a trend, if you're trading macroeconomics, if you're trading money flow, is this a universal truth? Bulls buy low and bears sell high? Then in that case, a bear is sitting here saying, I want to sell, but I only sell high. So now bears need bulls to drive price up for them so that they can sell, which gives bulls a short-term opportunity. By short-term, I mean this is a downward trend. So maybe for a day or two, bulls get a little relief rally. They make money for a couple of days, put some pesos in their pocket. And then bears say, oh, hey, thanks, bro. And then boom, they take it down. And it's bears' turn again. But they work together like a dance. They need each other. One is a leader. That's the trend. Okay? One foot forward, the other one back. You work together. And you have to learn to appreciate that. So bulls will make some money here, not a lot. And then wowzer, boom, off we go. The trend is your friend until it stabs you in the back and leaves you for another trader. Pretty awesome stuff, huh? Only 2 people have clicked the like button. Would you do me a favor and click the like button if this is valuable? If you've learned something new, if you appreciate this, if you like this, get involved. This is not television. I'm actually a real person. I'm not a Hollywood actor. This is really my home. This is happening in real time. I'm alive. Pinch me. Yeah, so interact. You can interact with me. Huh? All right, cool. Gold. Okay, gold, we're at a bullish buy zone. You talk to me, Goose. So if you are a bull, this is what you want. Some form of that. Oh, I have no idea, Benjamin. Right? Why don't you just use Bitcoin? La 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 la. I guess we got to do Euro. Well, I guess I got to finish all this. Why don't we do Bitcoin? Bitcoin down! Oh my gosh! It's still doing what we had it doing. Isn't that lovely? Do you remember all this? Whoopsie. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Oh, and notice that we're at the bottom of the regression. Whoa, dude. It's becoming more and more bearish. BVP TV. Yeah, 2 years, no problems. Cool. Check it out, right? So like this was the top. This, right? We're at the top of the regression channel, which means if you're 2 standard deviations from the mean, you have one above and one below. Above and one below. I would say the one above is still bearish, but it's less bearish. It's trying to break out to the upside. But being stuck below the mean means you're 1 standard deviation below the mean, which is you're more bearish than you are. You're more aggressively bearish than conservatively bearish. Long story short, it's more bearish today than it was yesterday, or the day before, or the day before that. Isn't that nice? Now, Johan, he wants to be bullish on BTC. Well, not yet. Not yet. Since we highlighted, we went from 10,500 to basically, what is this, 8,500. I just saved you $2,000 a coin, dude. Dude! 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 I know, right? 2,000 bucks a coin, because you can do some technical analysis. Cool, dude. 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 Yeah. I wonder if we measure this. Cool. Lovely. With your smile so worn and your teeth so green. All right. La 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 la. Okay, so this breach is weird. this pivot's a liar because we're just chasing it up. But it's interesting. This is a bearish engulfing candle. So I think I would do something like this if I were me. Right on, Reb. Well, nice to have you here. I know you've been around a while, faux show. Ryan, I have no memorable trades. I remember periods. Like, one of the best times ever was the global financial crisis. Oh my God, that was so awesome. So, like for example, let's talk about this now. We have the fear of the zombie apocalypse. I've been preparing you for this for a long time, right? So now I'm showing you, like, in one day you can be up 3, 4, 5, 6, 700 pips in a day. All I'm doing is risk off. Not complicated. So imagine that lasts for months. Okay? So during 2009 or 8 or whenever it was, and unemployment rates in the United States went to 10%, I hired an extra coach for FX boot campers. Okay? I added to my payroll. But of course, we were losing members like crazy. Like, I was just losing money like crazy running FX boot camp. So I hired somebody. Thank you, pound yen. Then I don't want to talk about me too much because I get heckled to death, but you asked me. Then I built a golf course in my backyard. Like, we had, bulldozers over in the backyard, building greens, bringing in tons and tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of pea gravel and all this kind of stuff, right? And I called it the pound yen, the beast. Welcome to the beast. And so my wife and my children were very young at that time. They went to a whole bunch of, what do you call them, garage sales? And they bought baskets and baskets and baskets of used golf balls. So no kidding. So my children came home and their bags of golf balls, and they got so excited. They have different colors and stuff. Because what we did is we set it up in the backyard. Well, it was behind the backyard was a forest. Behind the forest, we had my golf course. So then we set that up, and we had a whole bunch of wedges back there and hundreds of golf balls. And it was sort of like lawn darts for rich people. And the whole thing was because of the pound yen. Was it one trade? No, it was like 1,000 trades. Just, oh my God, it was just raining pips out of the sky. Think about it. The stock market would fall 1,000 points in a day back when 1,000 points meant 10%. You just make insane amounts of pips. Okay? So, when you have a strong trend and a conviction for a bias, you have so much clarity and so much intent. You can't sleep at night because I gotta sell the Aussie. I gotta sell the Aussie. And you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I gotta sell the Aussie. And like all of a sudden you find yourself in your home office in your underwear and a wife beater shirt going, oh, I gotta check the Aussie. Like, literally your eyes won't focus. You're like, Aussie, because you know you want to sell it. Okay? You know you want to sell it. That's the clarity I'm trying to get you at. Now, in normal markets, you might talk yourself out of that clarity. You're like, well, it's been bearish for 4 days, and now maybe it'll be bullish, and then maybe next month I'll be bear again. And you're kind of going with the flow and all that, which is not ideal, but it can work. But then when you get obvious slap in your face, ridiculous trends, you start doing things like throwing down trades simply because of a a pivot or simply because of a price or simply because of something. And what you don't realize is it's a ridiculous mass of money. So in the swing trading group yesterday, we talked about a tsunami, okay? That's kind of what you see right now. You don't just decide to jump in and swim against the current because you think it's going to stop now. And then you justify it. You're like, dude, I was on the street yesterday and it was dry and it wasn't dangerous. And I know I'm looking at a torrent of water and cars and buildings getting crushed and a river of just garbage going by. But I'm just going to jump in. Right? No. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. If you're in the water, you certainly don't try to swim upstream. That ain't going to work for sure. But if you happen to find yourself in the water, get on something that floats and stay as dry as possible. That's what this is. That's what that pound yen was back when the stock market crashed 50%. How long did that take? A year? Well, every day for a year, you should just be destroying. But you're not fighting the waves. You don't say things like it can't fall further. Oh my God, it can fall further. It can't go any higher. Yes, it can. Do you guys remember I told you, I think it might have been at the beginning of the week, I said I made a mistake many, many, many years ago where I was doing training and I was explaining Newtonian physics and bond yields, and I said it is impossible for the 10-year T-note to go below 2%. Absolutely impossible. It can't happen. That was my mistake. Yes, it can. I just never heard of interest rates going to negative. So to get the 10-year T-note below 2, the 1 has got to be, right? The 2 years got to be low, and the 1 year and the 6 month. And I'm like, at some point you'd have negative interest rates, but that doesn't exist. Well, it exists now. Okay? Massive, massive risk off. It's raining money out of the sky. This is where you should be getting filthy, stinking rich because you can do the technical analysis. You're starting to understand the fundamentals and you're trading with the tsunami of money. Now, the money is leaving one spot and going somewhere else. Money is leaving New Zealand and going to Switzerland. Money is leaving Great Britain and going to Japan. Money should be leaving euro and going to dollar, but that's not happening at the moment. At least you know to back off. How do you know to back off? That's why we use technical analysis. The very first thing in day trading is reaffirm your bias. So I'm a bear on this. Then I look at the market. Is this bearish? No, done. Done. I'm not going to trade that. Why? Because I'm the boss. I dictate the rules. I want to see a reversal pattern here. And if it is, maybe I'll trade it. Maybe I won't. I'm the boss. I'll make the decision then. I look at this. Hell no. Done. That's why we use technical analysis. Okay. WTI, how far is it going to fall? Well, there's timing issues. Maybe it come back up, test 50, and then we drop it like a ton of bricks. So, am I going to sell it now? No. Am I going to buy it now? No. Could I buy it now? No. I can see why you might buy it now. You're thinking some combination of this. Okay? If you bought it now, that's what you were thinking. You're either going to kick it off this pivot, both weekly and monthly, or you're going to hit this and you're going to move it back up and turn around and psychological levels and you're going to keep it above 45 and whatever, blah, 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 blah. I say, well, cool, I understand all that. So when it does this, maybe. But here, no. Here, no. Here, no. Here, maybe. Maybe. We'll see. That ain't going to be today. No way I'm going to buy it today. Maybe Monday. Probably not, but maybe Monday. We'll see. Okay? I'd rather you look at this and say, do you remember on, I think it was Monday, I showed you the Norwegian krone, the kroner, the crown, I don't know. They're all the same. Do you guys remember that? How often do I show you that currency? I don't even have it out here. How often do I show you that currency? I think I put it on the energy market. Like never, right? We never look at that. What do you think of it now? Up means oil's down. Do you understand? On Monday, I showed you this and said, hey, maybe you should consider looking at this if you think oil's going to fall. Okay? This is what it's been doing. You ready? Up, 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 down, down, buy, up, 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 down, down, buy, up, 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 down, down, buy, up, 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 down, down, buy. Up, 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 down, down, buy, up, up, down, down, buy, up, up, down, down, buy, up. I never show you this currency except on Monday. I'm like, huh? Peter says, so it moves with oil. Norway and the UK split the North Sea. So check this out. Let me give you a history lesson. Richard Nixon was in the White House. We had tensions in the Middle East over Israel. Nixon had a choice. Let Israel deal with it, but Israel ran out of weapons. Been tough with all the wars. Okay? So Nixon says, oh, well, maybe we should send them some more weapons. And the whole Middle East is like, oh my God, if you send weapons, we're going to freak out. And they all call Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia is like, oh my God, we're in a really tough situation here. We sell all our oil to America and we're all filthy, stinking rich beyond belief, beyond means. We can buy the moon if we wanted to. But we're part of OPEC, we're Muslim, and oh my God. So they pick up the phone, they're like, hey, Nixon, it's Saudi Arabia. Don't do it, man. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Please don't do it. Don't do it. Because if you send weapons, all our friends and allies and family and brethren, they're going to freak out, just freak out, and they're going to force us to have to embargo you. And we don't want to embargo you because you send us a whole bunch of money and we give you barrels of gobbledygoo. And you send us yachts and planes and palaces. Like, we kind of like this. It's really cool. But please don't send weapons, please, please, because you would force us to have to embargo you. And Nixon's like, oh, well, I'll think about it. Hangs up the phone to Saudi Arabia, picks up the phone to the military and says, hey, let's send a whole bunch of weapons to Israel. So the generals say, okay, well, if we do this, we got to keep it on the down low, incognito, bro, right? We're going to go in the dead of night, lights off, touchdown, touch and go, drop, and run. No one will even see us coming. Nixon's like, yeah, that's cool. Get her done. So the military, in their mighty powers of B, are late. They're late, 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 they're late. And finally they get the planes loaded. And they're like, hey, can you imagine this? Hey, I know the planes are in the air full of all these weapons, but you know, we were like 10 hours late. And I might not be a smart man, but I'm a lieutenant colonel. And I just realized, you know, we're coming in hot at high noon. Wasn't the plan to come in at 2 in the morning? They're like, yeah, just land it. So anyways, the Americans land. The C-130s flying right over Israel. Whoa! At high noon. And everyone, right? The Palestinians are like, those are American planes. And they're unloading weapons. Like, oh my God, right in front of us. Must be a statement. Must be a signal. Like, F you, everybody. So anyways, they call their friends who call their friends who call their friends who call up Saudi Arabia. Like, dude, you got to embargo this. So Saudi Arabia's like, son of a bitch, Nixon. You serious? All right, we embargo you. We have to. So they embargo. I get to a point. I'm just trying to show you history, right? I'm just being a teacher. Preach to teach. So anyways, so they embargo. What's the consequence of that? Saudi Arabian oil goes from $30 to $90 a barrel. It goes up 300%. Okay? Then you've probably seen pictures of long lines in America of cars, hundreds of cars waiting to get gas. And while they wait, they run out of gas. And then this gas station runs out of gas. And total mess. But you get this tripling in prices of fuel and oil. So this is interesting because now oil in places in, let's say, from an American and British point of view, oil in friendly places is suddenly very interesting. So the UK picks up the phone, calls all their scientists. The Americans pick up the phone, call all the scientists. So the British say, hey, guess what? We have oil in the North Sea, right off the coast of the UK. But it's deep, and the North Sea is a killer. It's probably the worst place on earth you ever want to be is in the North Sea. It's always a storm. It's never a nice day. And the oil is way, 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 way deep, 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 deep below the water. So it's going to be very expensive. Well, when you can just buy oil from Saudi Arabia for $30 a barrel back at that time, not a problem. You just will buy it from there because it costs you $75 just to get the oil out of the ground, out of the North Sea. So nothing was developed. Plus, you can get it from your friend from Saudi Arabia, so it just wasn't a problem. At $90 a barrel, suddenly, I think it was Thatcher, wasn't it? Suddenly dumped a whole bunch of money into the North Sea to start sucking that oil out, okay? And the North Sea gets split in half. One side you have the UK, the other half you have Norway, okay? Nope. That's how that happened. In America, at the exact same time, for the exact same reason, we decided to drill oil in Alaska. That's history created North Sea oil. History created oil in the Arctic. And if you're an environmentalist and stuff, you're like, I hate oil in the Arctic. Well, it came from Nixon screwing up tensions in the Middle East. Like redonkulous screw-ups. Beyond belief. You're like, there's no way the military would fly airplanes in at high noon. Yeah, it happened. You couldn't get more incompetent. And here's the other thing. You know what was happening at this time? The USSR was bankrupt. You don't hear this in history, so I might not be able to prove this. Bankrupt. I didn't speak. Anyways, bankrupt. They were literally going out of business. The Soviet Union was on the brink of collapse, and Nixon saved them by pushing oil up to $90 a barrel, of which USSR had as much as you wanted. And Nixon screwed up the Middle East. Nixon screwed up the environment. And Nixon saved the Soviet Union. Wow, huh? Oh, and he was a liar and a thief too? Right? Like, holy smokes, was this guy a bad president. So, by the way, this is all trademarked. This is all my point of view. I've read all the history books. This is how I congeal it. Right? I don't know if any of it's true, but I've read all of it. and I've interpreted and I've put things together from like 50 different sources. But that's history as I see it. WayneMcDonald.com. All right. Amazing though, right? So that's where it all came from. You have to understand the history. So yes, Norway is impacted by oil. Let me answer your question. Because when you ask me a simple question, I say, well, yeah, they produce oil in the North Sea. Done. But you would have no context of the history. So when you ask me a question like that, I think of 95,000 different things. And I know you're just asking me like, if oil's down, does this go up? Yeah, dude. Yeah. Where does oil come from, Wayne? Why did it come from there? Why do we drill oil in the North Sea? It's such a bad place. Why don't we just, can you imagine you just walk out in some sand and drill right through it? Like, couldn't be any easier, right? You're like, oh my God, just push the sand out of the way, drill a hole and suck it out of the ground. Or you can build something that sits on 2 miles of nasty ocean, giant waves, ice cold all the time, right? Like, you couldn't get a worse place to drill oil. But that's where it all came from. Okay? That's where, that's why, that's how. Okay? Can you imagine if they actually taught that in school? Yeah. I would start with World War I. I'm like, all right, children, what did the textbook say about World War I? Oh, somebody shot an archduke of something and the whole world went into war. I'm like, all right, everybody throw your textbook in the garbage. The substitute teacher's going to jump in and give you a real education. Yeah. So anyways, what about USD CAD? Well, do you think Canada likes cheap oil? Just oh, look at my pound yen. My beast is making me money. Thank you, beast. Isn't this nice? Whoop, whoop, whoop. Made 30 pips while I was telling you that story. Money working. Money works for you. Remember that. Money's like an employee. And it never takes vacation, never talks back. All right. What should we do now? Ryan says oil costs a lot of... Yeah, sure. It's money, it's power, it's energy. I mean, yeah. It's interesting, Ryan. Yeah, Ryan, I wrote a paper at Harvard about renaming the Middle East to the Far West, or the Middle West. So the idea was money or oil flows out of the Middle East, goes around the Hormuz, right, and then maybe makes its way eventually to the United States, right? Well, that it's going to shift. It's going to go out right around the Hormuz, and then it's going to go to China. And then from the point of view of everything, China is buying oil from the West, not the Middle East, right? The Middle West. It's west to them. And so I talked about how the supply chain will shift and start going more predominantly the other way. What I was hoping at that time, this is before the fracking shale revolution, but I was saying that oil should be produced in the United States and Canada and sent to Europe and start to replace European reliance on Russian oil and natural gas. So like when you look at so one of the things I studied were all the pipelines, like actually where all the pipelines are and where they originate from, right? And where they go downstream. where they end up. And Russian oil, natural gas, it just all flows to Europe. All of it. Europe is just totally reliant on Russia. So it'd be interesting to change that dynamic too. So it'd be great if shale oil and derivatives from that like nat gas could be sent to Europe. So Europe buys a lot of natural gas. When I was a kid in Canada, you used to drive past these huge oil refining facilities. Huge. They look like spaceships. They're so huge. But they would just burn off the natural gas. They'd just burn it off. It was worthless. Canada would just had so much of it. Sometimes they would pump out the nat gas, pump out the oil, and then pump the nat gas back into the ground and cap it, and just to keep the pressure. But they didn't use it. It was worthless. So wouldn't it be interesting to sell that to Europe? So if you can sell something you consider worthless to someone that's willing to pay a lot of money to it, it's pretty a fabulous relationship. Okay, I'm waiting for Kiwi to make its move. Look at my beast, though. My beast is on fire. Let's go to the ends. No, Hope, no. Okay, look at this. Just money falling out of the sky, guys. Look at my Aussie yen. Look at that. Where are we at now? 120 pips? Cool. Look at that. Just destroying it. Destroying it. So yeah, CAD yen negatively affected by falling oil prices. This is the euro that I shorted at 120. It went up to 121 and then dropped. Son of a... So this is what I did earlier in the week, and if you recall, I told you about it. But I did this and lost money. What? So anyways, wow, just gone. Crude oil, Norway, CAD, pretty much it. Hope re-entered, right on. Hope took that too, right on, guys. Well, you know, the other thing, MXN is also oil. When you look at the percentage of GDP, when you look at the percentage of GDP, in particular exports, okay, oil is pretty high for peso. So that's the other one. If oil is down, right, you probably have MXN, NOK, right, CAD, down. You are not alone. I am here with you. Okay. And by down for MXN, this means up. So yes, could you read this like, oh, oil must be falling? Yeah, it totally could. Let's switch this to bullish day trading and drop into like 1 hour. Check this out. Here's the buy zone for this day, but the thing is you knew it here. Here's the buy zone. Here's the buy zone. Here's the buy zone. And here's Monday's buy zone, guys. You see that people are buying it today? It's not, they're front running it. It's not even day trading. Oh, right, all those are day trading, but if you're buying it now, you're actually front running. You're front running Monday, which is ridiculously aggressive, but it makes sense under these market conditions, okay? There, Roger's in. Hey, my pleasure, Roger. Did you subscribe? Is everyone subscribed? Is everyone a subscriber? Also, have you clicked like yet? We've discussed so many things. Earlier in the week, we did relative strength and yield curve analysis, I think it was. Here we are now. I'm giving you history lessons, and I'm showing you, look, here's how to make 2,000 pips a week. Boom. Be nice if you clicked a like. That'd be nice. Trading NFP. Not a big deal at all. Okay? I wouldn't expect the number to be higher than average, so it'd probably be lower than average. NFP won't be a big deal until we really get into the zombie apocalypse stuff. And if we see a very bad number, then yeah, that's crazy. Okay? But here's the interesting thing, and this is, you're going to have to learn this as a trader. Let's say this number that comes out. Okay, let's say a week from now, NFP comes out. And NFP is bad. We've been doing what, $1.75, and let's say it comes out 62. Way below average. Think this through with me. What happens next? Hello, Wayne. I want to thank you. I'm new to your channel, but I already watched a lot of videos. Took a trade on Aussie dollar yesterday. Caught the pullback into up 80 pips. Hey, you're welcome. Fed cuts rates. Cool. Well, they don't cut rates. It gets priced in that they will. What happens to the stock market with this bad, horribly bad non-farm payrolls number? It goes up. Because the Fed is likely to pump money into the market. You can't think bad number bad. You have to think bad number, what's the consequence? Fed changes policy, Fed cuts rates, Fed does quantitative easing, the US government comes in and does a fiscal bailout, lowers taxes, gives free money away, does something, and all of that pushes the market up. A bad number will probably be good. If the Fed cuts and makes money cheap, does the stock market like cheap money? Yeah. Will it solve their problem? No. But it will signal that they're doing something. Oh, it doesn't have to work. The Fed doesn't buy oil. Quantitative easing? Well, what does quantitative easing do? What does it actually mean? You know the loom. Okay. See, you always have to label your charts correct. Okay, what is quantitative easing? The Fed buys bonds. What do they use to purchase these bonds? These bonds are just regular bonds floating in the market. They're in the open market. Quantitative easing is a form of open market operations. They go into the same bond market as everybody else and they buy bonds that are existing. So those are existing bonds. So what do they use to purchase these bonds? Money, okay. Where do they get the money? The U.S. government, the Treasury, a vault? Do they borrow from the reserves parked at the Fed by commercial banks? Where do they get the money? Maurice, they don't print it. That's the Treasury. Treasury prints money. No, they don't print. The Treasury prints dollar bills. It's a subtle difference, but that's wrong. Jim, they can't sell bonds to buy bonds. That wouldn't happen. Right? They offset each other. Okay? They use a computer. That's it. They don't print it. There's difference. If they printed money, M1 goes up. M1 does not go up. They just go to a computer and they create the money on the computer. Now, I know it's subtle, but it's factual. They don't print the money. They just create it on a computer. So it doesn't increase the money in circulation because that changes things like the velocity of money. There is a difference. I'm being technical, but it's factual. When you read in the newspaper the Fed is printing money, that's BS. The Fed doesn't print money. The Treasury prints money. Completely different department of the government, all that kind of stuff. And it changes very technical things. So I'm trying to give you a proper education. Stop saying the Fed prints money. The Fed does not print money. They've never printed a dollar bill in the history of America. Okay? But they go to the computer and they just invent it over at the computer. Okay? So no real money. No, they don't use the reserves. Nope. The reserves are not their money. So anyways, so what they do is they go to the computer and they make the money there. And what they do is they send money, just ones and zeros. That's all money is, ones and zeros. They send money to a bond dealer. So we go money, right, to a bond dealer. The bond dealer sends bonds. Okay? To the Fed. So money has been transferred from one computer to another, and suddenly the bond dealer has money. And they've transferred ownership of the bond. So the bond talks about their balance sheet. Well, the balance sheet now has additional bonds. In exchange, the bond dealer sold them the bonds and received money. Now, the money was created. It wasn't printed, but it was created. So there's a new increase in the quantity of money supplied. So the quantity moves this way. The quantity of money, not in circulation, just total money in the economy. Okay? So we shift the entire curve, the entire supply curve. We don't adjust the supply curve. We don't adjust the slope, y equals mx plus b, right? But we move the entire curve to supply 2. And what this shows is there was an equilibrium point here. This is where the quantity of money, Q1, was before quantitative easing, and that had created an interest rate right here. We'll call it 2%. It could be whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. Okay? Now, the Fed bought a bond, transferred money to the bond dealer, received the bond on their balance sheet, right? The balance sheet of the bond dealer has more cash but less bonds. So that balances. That's what a balance sheet is. But what is the effect here? The quantity of money is increased from Q1 to Q2, and interest rates have fallen from 2 to 1. So interest rates went down, the supply of money went up. Now here's the really interesting thing. 1 over R plus E, okay, adds up to 0.1 over 1, which is equal to 10, okay? This is out of the fundamentals course, so if you don't know what this is, then you're going to have to take the fundamentals course. But what this adds up to is if the Fed buys $1 billion in bonds, $10 billion enters the market of economic activity. If you're a poor country, this does not happen, and that's one major reason your country is poor. The Fed can invent $1 billion, buy $1 billion worth of bonds, give $1 billion to the bond dealer. By the way, do you think the bond dealer made money on that? Hell yeah. And then they put it in their bank, they do stuff with it, and they spend it, and it goes to someone else's bank, and then they spend it, and then it goes to someone else's bank, and they spend it, and it goes to someone else's bank, and they spend it. 10% of each of those transactions are required to be put back into the Fed, so the Fed gets their money back. It's beautiful. And it gets multiplied as it goes from bank to bank to bank to bank, spent, right? To a bank, that person spends it, goes to another bank, that person spends it, goes to another bank. Meanwhile, 10% keeps going back to the Fed, 90% gets loaned out over and over and over again. And at the end of this cycle, $10 billion has been pumped into the U.S. economy. The Fed invented $1 billion, and they got that $1 billion back. Didn't cost them anything. Then they destroy that money they created, but now the other $9 billion is floating around. This is called the fractional banking system. If you find this interesting, you need to take the fundamentals course at fxbootcamp.com. By the 3rd hour, you will be managing the balance sheet of a commercial bank as the bank president. Oh yeah. Yeah. Imagine in 3 hours you can start to understand that. And you'll understand money. Oops, didn't mean to do that. There we go. FXBootcamp.com. The shell game. It's not a shell game. Nope. Okay. If you think about it, poor countries, what do the people do with their money? They put it in a coffee can and put it in their freezer. They put it in a suitcase under their bed, or they bury it in their backyard. It doesn't get loaned to their neighbors so they can improve their house. It doesn't get loaned to the business down the street so they can expand and hire more employees. And their money doesn't work for them, just like you're a scalper and you never let your winners run. Your money doesn't work for you. Okay? That's the difference. When your money is working for you, you become wealthy. It's the secret of everything. You must find a way to get money to work for you. Okay? I just made 50 pips doing this webinar on one currency pair. You understand? Money is working for me. Same thing, if you can find a way to make a lot of money in Forex and then transfer that wealth over to real estate, now you don't even have to trade. At some point, if you just transferred all your money, let's say, right, you made millions, and then you take all those millions and you buy a bunch of real estate, and you got 100 or 200 people paying you rent every month, you can just stop working completely. You just say, my money is going to work for me all the time. I'm going to make 6% a year no matter what happens. There will always be renters because in a booming market, new people come into my city and they want to live here. And then during a bad market, people lose their houses and they need a place to live. There will always be a renter. And then in 10, 15, 20 years, you could always sell the apartments that you owned, but now you're going to sell it for 300% more than you paid for it. So now you sold those assets. Now you're 70 or whatever, and you sold off your apartment buildings. By the way, a management company did all the managing. Someone else mowed the lawn, all that kind of stuff. You just owned a piece of paper that said all the profits should go to you at the end of every month. Cool. So you did that for 30 years, which means nothing. You sold it. Now you got a pile of cash. And now you invested into bonds or the stock market or whatever, and you have a portfolio manager manage it for you. And once again, your money just makes more money, and you're not doing anything. You're not thinking about it. You're not worried about it. You don't have to get up at 6:14 in the morning every day to make sure you're on time for your money. No, you absolutely have no thought. And I've met people like this, by the way. The most obvious was when I was in London. And I'm smoking a cigar at one of the oldest cigar bars probably in the world. This is where, what's his face used to smoke his cigars all the time, right next to the House of Parliament. You know who I'm talking about. Winston Churchill. And this guy, he sits down, he's beautifully dressed, impeccable hair, and he's got a bag, a shoe bag actually, and I noticed it was from 3 or 4 doors down. It's the same shoe store that supplies shoes to the royal family and has for like 500 years. So I'm like, I noticed these things, right? And I tried to strike up a conversation. I'm a friendly guy. I'm sitting there, the room's empty, anyways, I jump in and I start talking about like real estate in Venezuela. Swear to God. And then I mentioned something to him, and I realized, it was amazing. He looked at me with the blankest of stares that I had a discussion about a concern about money. It never had crossed his mind, I don't think, in his life, the thought of money. He had concerns, but concerns mean he owned things. He sat on boards, he owned real estate, he owned businesses and all that kind of stuff. It was just really interesting. And you don't see that in America. You know, I've met fabulously wealthy people, but they think about money. It's like, I think his great-great-great-grandfather probably made the fortune. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Different point of view. So I would like you to think about, well, here's something that I've been thinking about. How about this? I talked about it maybe 3 or 4 years ago. You should, above and beyond your goals for Forex, I think you should sit down. And again, I've done this for myself, and I still think about this for myself. What is your 100-year plan? Now, bear in mind, you're probably not going to live another 100 years. So this is bigger than you, right? Bigger than me. But there should be a 100-year plan for your lineage. Okay? Think of that, right? And I think for some people, that might help them think beyond today, right? And what can you pass on? And for example, if you could buy enough real estate from your Forex profits so that you never have to work again, and you'll earn income till the day you die, people will still pay you rent, and you'll die on your deathbed, but you'll transfer that ownership now to your children or to your grandchildren, and you put it in the will that they are never allowed to sell that real estate, ever. You will own it for hundreds of years. But now they have an asset. It's an income-producing asset, so it pays for them to go to school or gives them an income, puts them way ahead of the average person, right? And it's all about compound interest. Now they don't have to waste money on school loans, or they don't have to waste money, saving for 10 or 15 years to buy their first house. They already have it because of this income. So it already puts people 10 or 15 years ahead of where they otherwise would be. But the thing is, when you look at compound interest, that 10 or 15 years is like, oh my God, it gives you 5 or 10 times more money. So that puts them way ahead. But now they can also borrow against that asset and buy additional real estate, which they never, ever, ever sell. Over 20 or 30 years, the renters pay down the mortgage until you own it outright. You own no debt, you own the asset outright, and you have this income, plus the income from your dad's place. And now you got that going. And then when they die, they give it to their children or grandchildren, in which they, in the will, they're never, ever, ever, ever allowed to sell it. But they can borrow against it and buy more real estate. You see what I mean? How can they buy that? Well, now they own 2 real estate properties that are 100% paid for by the renters, I might add. And the cash flow's coming in. So they have the cash flow and they have the assets, so they buy additional real estate. And by the time the 100 years ends up, your family will be fabulously wealthy. That's all it takes. Fabulously wealthy. Assets fully paid for and appreciating way beyond that we can comprehend. Right? Like, I know in California, people that bought houses for $14,000 and they're worth $3 million now. Like, no joke. A $14,000 house. Yeah, 1970. Yeah, well, now it's $3 million. Well, not $3 million, $2 million. It's $2 million. Like, no joke, it's $2 million. And I've met old men that bought like 5 of those houses, like no joke. So imagine like scenarios like that. How much would an apartment building with 100 doors on it, 100 people paying you rent, be worth in 100 years from now when the population of the earth is up 500%? Like, it's just a massive amount of wealth. But the cool thing is the renters paid for everything. So your children and your children's children and your great-grandchildren's children will inherit all of this cash flow, all of this assets. Remember, assets are credit. Credit is the availability of people making you rich. So anyways, just a thought, right? That's what Forex has for you. That's the potential. It's not just how many pips can you make today, and that was really fun and stuff. Like, really, and if maybe that point of view helps you, then I'm grateful to be able to share that thought process. It won't be the thought process for everyone. We all have our own niche, so to speak, right? But imagine if you were thinking about 100 years from now. That was your goal. You're not interested about today or this week or this month or this year or how big your boat's going to be or how big your TV is going to be or how fancy or how many time zone your watch does. Because none of that makes any money. So Jimmy doesn't like this. How many other people don't like that type of message? Jimmy says, right, that I'm trying to, yeah, why would I do this? Why would I talk about real estate when we're Forex traders? Jimmy, are you trying to have a rational conversation, or are you just here to heckle? Right? I'm trying to show that Forex is simply a part of your portfolio. Okay? That's all I'm sharing. And this is just money, whether it's a Forex or a oil futures contract or an S&P 500, or it's just money. And the point is to have money work for you. So when you trade, your money can work for you, especially when you're letting your winners run or you're earning interest from a high yield, right? But there are other things you can do for your money. Not everyone wants to work 10 hours a day trading Forex. Do you understand? Like, at some point you have to understand you're trading your time for money, and that is not going to grow your wealth, so to speak. So how can you use your money to work for you? Forex is so fabulous because you can leverage and earn interest, right? Or that you can hedge your cash position in the stock market. So I'm heavily invested in the stock market, and I have some in the bond market, and I can hedge all that through Forex. Forex isn't the only way to make money, but Forex does take work, right? At some point, though, you can take some wealth out of your Forex account, buy some real estate. The real estate, if you get the right price, over time will go up in value. Meanwhile, people are paying you rent, so you are getting income, right? Like, it's another great way to make money. Okay? Cool. It's just money, guys. Like, I wouldn't start taking pride like, I'm only a crypto trader, and that's all I do, and everything else is a scam. Or all I do is Forex and everything else is stupid, or I just trade stocks and that's the way to do it, and all these other things are scams, right? Like, it's just money. You know what I mean? It's just money. It's only money. You know what I mean? It's just money. And money is interesting because you can do things with it that are fun or interesting, right? It's, yes, you use it to pay your heating bills and electrical bills. And yes, you can save it for the future and save some money and say, oh, next year we'll go on vacation, right? Or in 9 years, my kids can go to school. But then there's other fun, interesting things you can do with money. And that's all it is money is just money. I guess that's it. That's a Friday, right? Is there anything else? Well, what time is it? Yeah, I've got an hour and a half. I don't have stock indices on this platform, Chris. Sorry. Well, Euro is weak in the moment, and Aussie's weak in the moment, so that wouldn't be a very good trade to look at. Euro Aussie. Okay? You can see Euro's weak, and we already know Aussie's weak. I'm killing it. Kiwi dollar? Yeah, okay. You can look at Kiwi dollar. You are not to lose. Okay. Cool. Let's take a look. Okay. Seems to be a downtrend. What do you stink? We can look at it maybe from a weekly point of view. Let's increase this though. Let's do 1 week. Let's do 10. Okay. Let's see. Let's do this. Down, 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 up, up, sell. Down, 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 up, up, sell. Down, 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 up, up, sell. Down, 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 down. So maybe next week up, sell. I don't know. What should my plan be for next week? Maybe something like this next week? You tell me. When is the day trading webinar? We did it we did it 2 weeks ago. So you go to swing.fxbootcamp.com. Buying anything? Yeah, I'm buying Swiss franc, buying yen, buying dollar. I don't know anything about FX option expiry dates, except it's probably on the 3rd week. But I've never seen it impact the cash market. I know some people get into it. And people have told me like, oh, at 3 p.m. on Friday, there's a big option at some price, and they get very excited. I'm like, really? And then I never see it or feel it in the cash market. So it might be important. I'm not saying it's not. I've never really witnessed it to be. You know, I even used to get all excited about quadruple witching, which would be one of the days that the options expire. But there really hasn't been anything from it as far as volatility or change in trend or something like that. Hey, what's up, Timmy? Different currency pair? What would you like me to cover? XRP, maybe? What is that, like up 30%, down 30%? Wow. Pound yen. Justin wants pound yen, but I think we did that one a couple of times already. Eurythium. Well, somebody asked me about XRP, but oops. Okay. Kind of hard to get into something like that. Not really interested. What else? I looked at it, Peter, up 30%, down 30%. Not anything I really want to trade. Gold? Yeah, okay. Yeah, so some of you guys are logging in late, right? So we did all this earlier today, but we can take another look. PJ, thanks, Mr. McDonald. Caught the Asian fade daily short in my sleep last night. Nice. First time that has happened. Cool. Gold. Okay. So that's that. So we're at a buy zone if you're a bull. We can take a bigger look at it, though, get some more serious analysis. Okay. I would take a look at a couple of things. Like this is an interesting price. So as we approach 16 might be interesting. So I'd be looking at 16 and 1620, but probably more like 16. Okay. Yeah, right on, Anthony. Well, that's maturity and experience that you got. Those are invaluable. Those are things you own forever, right? Okay, so there's gold. You're like, eh. But you know, if you're a day trader buyer, this might be your price. But I don't know if you want to get into something this late. You face, gap risk again over the weekend. But it's your call. So yes, whoever's asking about the day trading course, when you join the swing trading group, you get the day trading course, the swing trading course, and a weekly session with me. Not bad. For the cost of some textbooks in one of my classes. Right on, Justin. All right, well, in that case, I think what I'll do is I'll get on to my homework and start doing that kind of stuff. Ugh. Oh, some of these classes are, ugh. But, so this is what I do all day. I read cases. Oh, I guess you can't see that. That's what I do all day. Right? I just read case study after case study after case study. Over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Pages and pages and pages and pages and pages and pages and pages. When that's done, I do more and more and more. And when that's done, I do more and more and more. And when I do that, more and more and more. More and more. And it keeps raining out of the sky. Oh my God. Anyways, I love it. So, thank you for another wonderful week. Thank you for being on my team. Thank you for the loyalty and respect you show me and that you show the other traders in our chat. And thank you for the loyalty and respect that you show both to Forex.Today and to Traders Way. I think it all pays itself back. It's all part about good karma. I love the fact that, 11,500 of us can come together every day and align our satellites and have, intellectual conversations, serious analysis, and then have some fun and some history and all that kind of stuff all bundled together. It's just, it's interesting, right? And so I'll send you a blessing. May your life be interesting. Thank you for being in my life. Have a wonderful weekend. Do your homework. Do your analysis. Remember, if you show up Monday and you don't know what to do, you've already lost. Okay? I planned out Monday, yesterday. That's what you need to be doing. Monday.